You are now listening to the sounds of Dr. B's Spot, a production of Bowden Enterprise Services, LLC. Join the podcast where love and life topics are discussed surrounding spiritual connection, relationships, finance, and becoming a better you through elevation. And now, here's your host, spiritual advisor and behavioral health clinician, Dr. B.
Welcome back to another episode of Dr. B's Spot, Love and Life. I'm your host, your therapist, your spiritualist, Dr. B. We are back in business and back in action. Sometimes I do take a hiatus and I'm trying to stay consistent, and I work on that. I need your prayers so I can continue moving forward with that. But as always, this topic that we're going to talk about, we're going to get right into. This particular topic is called People Are People. Sometimes people come into your life for a season. Sometimes it's a lifetime. Sometimes you think it will last longer than it does. And the other person may have an intention that is only lasting a small amount of time. And then you progress in life and you're thinking that people are people. You're thinking that this particular thing is about family. This particular thing is about friends. This particular thing is about romantic interests. This thing is particularly about co-workers. This thing is about a whole. So that means that it can be applied to anyone in your life who fits the bill. Okay? If they fit the bill, then this is what it's for. When you go into something with someone and you give your all, you give all your might, you put a lot of effort and forth in building and correlating relationships, making them what they are. They're cultivated and then they grow. It's like when you plant seeds. So you plant seeds and you keep watering it, you fertilize it, and then it turns into something that either you can eat and sustain yourself from, right? Okay. So this is a part of the relationship aspect that you developed. And the relationship is not just relationship. The relationship is inclusive of family relationships, inclusive of friendships, inclusive of romantic ships. Okay. So as you go along, there are trials and errors. There's also waves of roller coaster rides, up and down, up and down. And when you look at those things, sometimes you think that I can't continue on this particular ride, but you ride the wave, you endure the pain, you endure the good times as well as the bad. A mixture of that within the pot is love. At the end of the day, you still have to look at people are people. You either accept them for who they are or you don't. You either get with it or you get away from it. You either go in or you jump out. And at times there's a time limit and sometimes there's not. Sometimes there'll never be a time limit until the end of life happens. Or it could be a short period of time, or it could be long, but maybe not last a lifetime. Some of you out there have experienced the pain of a breakup, the pain of a separation, the pain of moving forward without the other person who was in your life. And we're not talking about just specific as if death arises, because that's a whole nother piece of pain, because you can never ever repair or get that back. You have to spiritually go through something to make that okay if things were left unsaid. But in real life, where you have the opportunity to make things right with a particular person in your life who you've separated from or departed from, you actually have that chance to leave on good notes or be cordial on certain notes or come to a mutual agreement. Sometimes you can even rectify the situation, and if there was a medium in between there, you would be able to work the situation out and turn the situation around so it's not a loss, but a win. A lot of people do want to win. We want to win all the time, but that's not life, and that's not the way it always works. We have to work through the things that we see as failures, and we have to work hard. So some of you out there who experience those particular things of separation or breaks where you've broken up from someone, and there may be times when it comes back together and it may not. But if it don't, regardless whether it does now, later, whenever, or it just really doesn't, you have an opportunity to make peace with yourself and as well as the other person. Sometimes you can do it in person. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to do it far apart, but you also have to understand how you move forward from that situation. You move forward by turning the tables on yourself. You move forward by looking at where you are in your life. How are you going to make a move for yourself? How are you going to maneuver without the other person? So then you focus and intunely look at yourself and break that down. What does that look like? What does that look like when it's just me and me alone? What does that look like on how I'm going to move forward and make myself better? So when you do that, you sometimes, there's different ways, but sometimes it's a spiritual journey. Some people go more into a spiritual realm. They may do church. They may do meditation. They may switch religions, or they may just have self reflections where they go into their own self and heal thyself. You have to understand who you are, where you're going, and then how did you get there? Some journeys are tough. It's not always easy. Some of those journeys have made you cry. Some of those journeys have almost killed you. Some of those journeys have made you almost kill yourself. Some of those journeys have backstabbed you. Some of those journeys have disappointed you. Some of those journeys didn't really end well. Now, if you're still here on this part of earth and you're still listening, you still have breath, you still have life, you still have a brain, you still have the faculties and the movement of your body, then there's another chance for you again. There's another chance for you to move forward in positive sense, not negative. You don't want too much negativity surrounding you, because when it seeps in, it could destroy you. You have to move forward in understanding that you deserve better. You deserve better than what that person could ever do for you. Because remember what I said in the beginning, people are people. And you can't expect a person to fulfill every area of your life and you're going to always be happy from that particular person. Because guess what? People are people. Say it with me again. People are people. So when you look within yourself, you're going to be understanding or come into the understanding of who you are and where you're going. What do you particularly want to do in your life for you? Not someone else, not someone else's thoughts on what they might think of you, not with someone's feelings on what they think of you. What is it about you that's going to make you better, make you excel, make you hit those next plateaus of moving higher? What is it about you? When you come into the understanding of whatever it is, whether it was a creative thing that you want to do and you were stopped. What if it was your beliefs that you was into and they wanted you to stop? What if it was your charisma, your character, they wanted to change so it would accommodate their feelings? And those are their feelings of insecurities. It's not you, it's them. So when you come into the understanding of yourself, you begin to understand others and you begin to see into a higher realm that, and many times you could play a part in some things, but you start looking at the other because you starting to identify the things within yourself on where you were stuck at. And as you start coming through, it's like coming through a storm. When you start coming through, you can see clearly above and through. And then you understand possibly the other person. It really, really is not about them. It should be about you. You first, because you should understand yourself before you intertwine. So if you don't understand yourself, how could you understand somebody else? Some people are like they can't let go. But you can. You have to look within yourself because you come first. If you don't nurture you, who's going to nurture you? If you don't stand up for yourself, who's going to stand up for you? If you don't get in the line, and the line is giving you fast forward moving next to the future, it's giving you change. It's giving you positivity. It's giving you upliftment. If you don't get in a line to grab any of those blessings that are being thrown your way, somebody else will grab them while you standing looking at the other person and putting blame on the other person. Once you identify that this person couldn't get with who you are as a person or as the one who could go the route long term with, lifetime with, and you understand that they possibly have their own issues, their own workings that they have to deal with, you need to turn your focus back in front of you. Turning your head when you're driving is not a good idea, and you're on the highway. Now, unless you're trying to get over. Other than that, you might cause a serious accident. So you need to put your head in the front of you and you keep moving forward.
Join us next time at Dr. B's Spot, where we dive into the real deal of love and life by tapping into your body, mind, and spirit. Don't forget to like, rate, and comment on each podcast that we drop. For all upcoming shows, reach Dr. B and all she has to offer on BowdenEnterprise.com and social media outlets under the moniker Bowden Enterprise Services. Peace and blessings to you and yours. We are out.